Warning, this is going to be a rant video. This is going to be a review and a rant at the same time, because I can't review this without ranting. So if that's not your cup of tea, I fully understand. If it's your cup of tea, then you're not alone. I also like rant videos, especially on YouTube. This is the Moondrop SSR. Super spaceship. The R stands for something else that I can't say on YouTube. It says it's for retard. Okay, the R is for retard. It's not. I actually enjoy the sound of the SSR. I can actually enjoy the sound of the SSR. Unlike someone who's very sensitive to shout, that they can't enjoy this. They physically can't. But I still can. Like a lot of people still can enjoy this. Though this is definitely not a reference sound. This can be. This is marketed for a reference sound, but what it does is just skew it will just skew the perception of what is reference to a lot of people. This is definitely not a reference sound. Reference to, in my definition, is something that is uncolored, like natural neutral sound that is uncolored, that shows what the recording actually tells you flat. But Brian, the neutral and naturalness is subjective. Of course it is. But if you call this is a natural sounding IM and not shouty at all, I can say something that's shouty and still sounds pretty normal, pretty natural, like the Starfields, the Moondrop Starfields. I love the Starfields. They do have a bit of a shout, but not as at the level of these, and they have the audacity to call this thing reference. Like, what the fuck, man? I mean, most people buying this IM is going to be for the wife. You're like, oh my god, I'm gonna give him the shittiest tuning, the shittiest, shoutiest tuning. I'm gonna stick the reference label on top of this. I'm gonna put some waifu picture on the box, so people's gonna buy him. Like, everyone's gonna love him. Oh, it's great. Oh. This is utter bullshit, though. The actual tune, the actual sound doesn't correspond with this. It sounds like the chick here, the anime girl here, the distance of her mouth and the mic is she's deep throating the mic. I mean, I love the sound of an anime girl deep throating a mic. I definitely do. Like, everyone loves that, of course. But I'm not gonna say these as a reference natural sound. Like, no, that's just no. If you have an IM that jumps from 1k hertz to 3k hertz by 17 dBs, that's not natural sound. Guys, that's not fucking natural sound. No, that's not nada. No, N-O. Like, I'm not saying that these don't sound good. They sound decent, but that is not reference. There are a lot of people like really defend. The thing is, when I reduce the 3K, the 2K, and the 4K hertz by, I reduce the 3K by about 6 dBs, the 2K and the 4K is about 2.5 or 3 dBs. When I listen to them without the EQ, it's almost sound like a caricature, like a failed tuned IM. like of how good they sound with the EQ. Like that's a 6 dB difference of peak, okay? There is like a 12 dB difference, like not 12, but about 8 dB difference about from the Tin T2's peak at the mid range with the SSR, which is not normal if you want to call this a reference sound. I can enjoy this. I can actually enjoy this, but this skews the perception of reference, especially on people that don't have enough money to actually buy reference sounding IEMs. Like I can even settle for diffuse field reference, which is a bit shoutier than Automatic target or the IF target or the even the Harman neutral target. Diffuse field is pretty the upper limit of what I can call natural sounding, of what that's like the shoutier natural sounding IEMs. But this goes like 5 dBs or higher than that, 5 to 6 dBs higher than diffuse field. The jump from 1K to 3K, and that's pretty insane if you want to call this as a natural sounding IEM, which this is. No, I mean reference sounding IEM, which this is definitely not. Okay, rant over. Now it's time for the review. This is Jason's unit. I'm not gonna buy this like in a million years. I did bought this. I bought the spaceship just because of how small they are and how great they not feel when I'm sleeping. They don't feel like anything when I sleep on these. This is Jason's unit. I'm not gonna getting paid, obviously. Obviously, I'm not getting paid nor influenced to say anything good or bad about this particular IEM, except of my own hearing and comparison with these IEMs. All of these are also personal units. Their build quality is actually fairly decent. The paint job is not the most beautiful. The cable is fine, actually. They look absolute garbage, but they don't tangle. They are small in form factor, so I kind of like the cable. Though the pins don't, they're built very cheaply. Look at this ring. Look at this red ring. I'm gonna put this red ring to indicate that it's red. It's in the right side. Aha! And look at this. Oh my god, flimsy ass pin. Like terrible looking. I'm even afraid to yank that off. No, I haven't removed the cable, like not even once. They look thin as hell. But they are all made of metal. They're very small in form factor, so you can definitely sleep on these. So yeah, there's also a vent mod making this a V-shape sounding IEM. So if you want a V-shape sound, you can do that. But if you want reference sounds, fuck me. You also get this carrying pouch with a few ear tips. And they're the standard Moondrop ear tips, like what you'll get with the Starfields. Yeah. Plus I'll get the warranty cards and something else. The manual, I don't know why you need a manual for an IEM. But the world is a weird place, okay? Everything is not normal. So that's it for what's inside the box of the SSRs. The bass is there is a bass presence here. I'm not gonna say that these have like zero, absolutely nothing bass, but it's present, but it's not present at the same time. It's very, very small bass. Does not extend to the sub bass that well. You can still definitely hear the kick here. The kick here is actually surprisingly good for how small and thin the bass are. The driver is definitely a faster driver than something like the Blondes or even like the Tinty 2s. They're about the same in speed, but a bit more faster here. The mid-range is shouty. Okay, that's it. That's like one word. The male vocals don't sound great. They don't sound good. Male vocals sound like female vocals. That's fucking weird. Okay, the female vocal sounds like female vocals, like that. Okay. This is not a bad IM. This is not a bad IM, but this is definitely a disappointing IM. This is the sound. The sound I'm making right now is the sound of disappointment. It's not the sound of, oh my god, this is an absolute shit. For real, I mean, real talk, this is not an absolute garbage IM. But this has a lot of potential. When you reduce, when you put on the EQ on this, I would recommend the fucking hell out of this. I would recommend the fucking hell out of the SSR. If only it has 6 dBs lower on the upper mid range. If it doesn't go as Leroy Jenkins as that, I would 100%, no joke, recommend this to everyone, being this like the best reference tune, like a natural tuned IM. Even though it does not have bass, I don't fucking care. This is the sounds of disappointed. This is the sound of disappointed Brian here. The treble is nothing much to say, but it's okay, I guess. It's pretty extended, but nothing to jack off about. Okay. In the technicality spectrum, the tonality is shouty. I don't know if that's actually a tonality. It's not balanced. The tonal balance is whack. When you listen to something like guitars, like especially something electric guitars, they'll just go screaming out like insane. A lot of instruments, for example, when I listen to the album Laughing Under the Sky, Gaiden. I mentioned that album in the previous review. These sound like insanely unnatural and weird. The instrument doesn't sound normal, if that makes sense. That's a huge problem here, because this is marketed as reference. Fuck me. The timbre is basic dynamic driver timbre, though you experience some kind of dipping sound due to the unnatural difference of the upper mids and the lower mid range. That difference, that insane difference, that 17 dB difference does not make the timbre of the SSR great in general. Soundstage is actually pretty good here though. That's what I can say. The detail retrieval is also very solid here, except for the bass region, because these doesn't extend that well. The imaging kind of reminds me of the imaging of the HD6XX. Kind of like the free blob imaging, free blobs of sound. type of imaging. The depth is not very well articulated. It's not very vivid as, of course, something like the final E2K is like before. It's not as vivid as I would expect something with this type of soundstage would give me. Though the 10T2s also suffer for like that lack of vividness. Excuse me. Yeah. The transience is also fine. I guess it's not that unnatural. And the transience is fast. The LDAC's fast. The decay is not a bit on the quicker side of the spectrum. So yeah, now to the comparisons. Against the 10T2s, the 10T2s definitely sound more natural. In my opinion, I know some of you really like the SSR, okay? I get it, okay? I get it. I also can hear some music here. I can also listen to some music in the SSR without getting insane. But the 10T2s is still definitely the winner in my book. It has more present bass, more present air in the treble air. It doesn't have that insane amount of Pina gain. Like here, this is the Shore tape level of Pina gain. That's what this is. So I would still recommend the 10T2 over the SSR, though the technicality aspect, I would put the SSR over the 10T2s. Yeah, that's also for the 10T2 Plus, if you're wondering. The MH755, the MH755 is pretty shouty. I mentioned it in my old review of the MH755. It's pretty shouty, but not as shouty as this. Like, definitely not. It does have that mid-range dip type of sound due to being very V-shaped, but not as shouty as this. Technicality-wise, this stomps. This is more definitely more present at the sub-bass region and the bass region in general. So yeah, not much to say about comparing this with the older version. This is the spaceship, the original spaceship, the OG, tiny as fuck, like fingernail size Moondrop spaceship. I mean, I wear these all the time. I taped the left side because the indicator is so small, like people can't actually see them. Both of these are equally as shouty, graph wise. No, actually the SSR is a bit more shoutier than the older and the original spaceship, though the spaceship has a bit more in the lower end, more energy in the lower end of the sound. So the original Moondrop spaceship has a bit better counterbalance to the shoutiness, though these have noticeable dip in the mid-range due to the being more V sounding. The SSR, though better in every sector of technicality, to me has inferior tuning than the older SSR, the older spaceship I am. The final E1K is like basically the 10T2s, but I like the 10T2s better. But this is more reference sounding than this. If I were to mix or like I want to listen on what the music actually tells me without any coloration, I would definitely pick the E1K over the SSR like any time of the day, because I don't trust this IM to reproduce the sound as uncolored as possible. The blondes, I'd pick the blondes any time of the day over the SSR. It's not even a joke. I mean, it's painful. It's painful to say. It's like the Tinty 2s. I'd pick the Tinty 2s any time of the day, except if I'm looking for technicalities. If you're looking solely for technicalities, grab the SSR. It's definitely a steal. Or the comparisons here about the tuning does not matter if you're willing to EQ the SSR. If you're willing to EQ the SSR every time you want to listen to this, it's fucking fantastic. It's fucking fantastic. Like, that's it. That's it for my rant and review, and a bit of a review. I rant a lot and a bit of a review of the Moondrop SSR. If you like this type of rants or like this type of reviews, definitely like and subscribe. If you don't like it, please don't kill me. Don't forget to watch Jason's video. He would not rant like me, definitely not. But go definitely watch him if you want a real review of the SSR. I don't know. See you next time. Godspeed.